sometimes if a high schooler is really intense in their work, we'll just take a nature walk, leave the
Yeah.
journal behind, leave any, let's just go. Let's just see if we can find the specimens. Let's observe them up close.
I know that your kids are a little bit older, and so your youngest is 16, almost
Right?
16.
Almost 16.
You said almost 16.
Almost.
We can't say 15 because he wants that almost
He
16.
wants to be almost 16.
How, if you're, maybe some people have never done nature studies and they're just now starting this with their teens or maybe even their preteens. How do you do a nature study, especially with high schoolers, and count that as science? Because we always think, and I love that you talked about the world being their lab. Because, we have to check that box of them having their labs and all that stuff. But how do you fit that into the high school world?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually do an entire class on this that could be an hour long. So I'll try to put it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Essentially, you can do it a couple of ways. So if you happen to be studying biologies this year, watch. You will notice so many opportunities to get outside and notice animal science, plant science, disease science, fungi, invertebrates. Yeah, well, that's animal science. Anything. There's all kinds of topics that you'll find in the biology book that you can say, Friday afternoon, we're taking a nature walk and we're going to see if we can notice some of the things that you've been studying this week or over the last month. If you only want to do it once a month, that's okay. And sometimes if a high schooler is really intense in their work, we'll just take a nature walk, leave the journal behind, leave any, let's just go. Let's just see if we can find the specimens. Let's observe them up close. Let's feel them. Let's do whatever. Sometimes though, I will say, you'll leave behind the questions for this chapter because we're going to go out, we're going to do a nature journal page and you're going to draw with such detail and write me such amazing notes that you're going to prove to me that that specimen, you understand it because of what you read in your science book. And that's going to be a beautiful nature journal page that you do as well. So it connects really well with biologies. Earth and space science can connect pretty well too, just from the book, just go off of what they're doing. But there are times, well, P.S., chemistry and physics are also very much found in nature, but that's a little bit harder to describe in a nutshell. So
Yeah.
let's just glaze over that for a minute.
I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, let's glaze over it for a sec. But let's pretend like you didn't really want to break away or incorporate nature study into that book. Okay, well then just take a nature walk, completely unrelated, once a week, once a month, couple times a month, whatever. And then the first question people ask is, wait, that's going to put us behind. That's going to put us behind. Okay, well then you get to evaluate what's most important to you. You can add it on as extras. You can do science in the morning and your nature walk in the afternoon, once a week or once a month. Or you can say, nature study is valuable enough as a lab, as an important discovery modality, as an important observation modality. It's actually going to make my kids better scientists because we're going to really be doing research-based learning. So they're going to be finding things and knowing things that are in their own brain that someone else isn't doling out to them, that I'm going to see it as valuable enough that we might skip an entire chapter in the science book and opt for nature study over the course of the year instead.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody, I say this every time I talk about this. Go back to yourself in school. How many times did you go from page 1 to the end of the book in a school year with any teacher ever?
Yeah. Never, ever.
You did not. And all of that stuff is built in for repeat and connection points here, there, and everywhere because we don't always get through everything. So homeschoolers, you get to have a little freedom as to whether or not you do every single last page of a book, even in high school.
Talk about the child who does not they don't want anything to do with nature walks or nature journaling, or, they just want to be in the house reading a book and they're just not the outdoorsy type. How do you deal with kids like that?
Okay. Well, creativity is kind of the name of the game. And sometimes we tell kids that they're going to do what we ask them to do, period.
Sure.
And you get plenty of time to read. You get plenty of time to maybe be on a video game. You get plenty of time to do these things, but you're also going to do nature study. So sometimes we take them out screaming, it's first and foremost, but we also can be super duper creative. So for instance, it's actually the entire reason I wrote the book called 100 Plus Creative Nature Walks is to take people and say, I don't love nature journaling. Every single time we walk out, I don't know what to ask my kids to do. They kind of hate being out here. So it's just full of these types of creative ideas. So for instance, do not take your nature journal out today. I want everybody to go find either a ruler or a tape measure or something, because we're just going to go measure things today. And you almost could make that a scavenger hunt of sorts. Today, I want you to go find 10 things that are taller than you, and you have to measure how tall they are in inches or in feet or in centimeters or whatever. You have to not only measure how tall they are, but you have to discover the difference between you and the object. Go.
Fun.
And it's like this fun little scavenger hunt challenge, very active. So we can measure a bazillion different things. Don't take a measuring tape out every single time you walk, because then that too will become boring.
Sure.
Here's another one. It's called a tweezer trek. So you give everybody a pair of tweezers, you give everybody a baggie, and you say, okay, we're on a tweezer trek today. You have to put 10 different items, nature items that are not killing things. So do not put, don't kill a grasshopper to pick up a grasshopper with these tweezers. Don't pick anybody's flowers out of their yard. But if you were to find a flower petal in the yard, okay? So anything that you can pick up with tweezers, pick that up, put it in your bag. And then we're going to all do like a show and tell of what we found in our bag. And then if we can identify them, awesome. If we can't, let's figure out what they are. Or let's at least describe them with some adjectives. And there's another walk for you, an adjective walk. So we can definitely leave nature journals behind. I honestly, over the years, probably only used nature journals half the time. And then the other half were things like these creative nature walks.
Oh, how fun. Yeah. So then you're getting math, you're getting grammar, you're getting science. You're getting all kinds of stuff in there. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.